Japan is no longer standing quietly on the sidelines of history. It has stepped forward, decisively and unapologetically, into a new era of power. While Beijing believed it had strategically cornered Tokyo in a slow, calculated Pacific chess match, it may have unknowingly triggered one of the most dramatic military awakenings of the modern age. For decades, Japan was seen as restrained, bound by a defensive doctrine shaped by the aftermath of World War II. But that version of Japan is fading fast. Today, a new force is emerging, one that is building a massive defensive firewall across its borders, while simultaneously preparing to strike with precision far beyond them. And just when tensions reached a boiling point, the United States made a move so unexpected, it sent shockwaves through Beijing's command structure. Without warning, advanced American fighter jets appeared in the skies, patrolling aggressively, hunting silently. At the same time, next-generation Japanese missiles locked onto targets from over 1,000 kilometers away, while Tomahawk cruise missiles demonstrated their devastating accuracy from beyond the horizon. This is not just escalation, it's transformation. But to understand how we got here, we need to rewind and examine how China's so-called red lines began to blur, one calculated move at a time. It started quietly, almost invisibly, beneath the ocean's surface. China deployed unmanned naval vehicles, sleek, manta-ray-shaped machines capable of delivering destructive payloads across distances of up to 1,000 kilometers into the East China Sea. This wasn't just a technological experiment, it was a signal, a silent warning. And then came the visible show of force. In March 2026, China's aircraft carriers Liaoning and Shandong conducted simultaneous operations across the Pacific, projecting power in a way that could not be ignored. Above them, the skies grew increasingly tense. Chinese J-16 fighter jets and H-6 bombers repeatedly entered Japan's air defense identification zone, testing limits, probing responses. Activities surged around Okinawa and the Miyako Islands, pushing Japan into a position where inaction was no longer an option. But Tokyo didn't hesitate. F-15J and F-2 fighter jets were scrambled immediately, intercepting every incursion. Yet something deeper had changed. Japan was no longer reacting, it was recalibrating. It was rewriting the rules entirely. And in that moment, a military evolution began, one that would redefine the balance of power in the Pacific. That evolution became undeniable on March 28, 2026, the day the strategic equation shifted permanently. Japan reached a new level of operational capability, deploying up to 48 F-35 as stealth fighter jets simultaneously. Let that sink in. 48 fifth-generation aircraft designed to dominate the skies without ever being seen. This wasn't just a reinforcement, it was a declaration, backed by a strengthened alliance with the United States. Japan transformed its air defense into something far more formidable. The chosen hub for this power, Misawa Air Base, a location that sits directly along the critical first island chain. From China's perspective, this is a nightmare scenario. Why? Because this chain represents a strategic barrier, a containment line that limits China's ability to project power freely into the Pacific. From Misawa, these F-35s don't just defend, they threaten. They glide through radar systems like ghosts, slipping past detection, rendering China's anti-access strategies increasingly obsolete. In a potential conflict, these jets could reach critical Chinese coastal cities, Qingdao, Yantai, Sanya, locations vital to naval operations and economic stability. Armed with advanced Joint Strike missiles hidden within their fuselage, these aircraft could carve corridors of destruction deep into contested regions without ever being detected. But Japan didn't stop there. This isn't just about air superiority, it's about multi-dimensional dominance. Alongside the F-35 fleet, Japan has deployed F-35B variants capable of vertical takeoff and landing. These jets operate from newly modified vessels like the Izumo and Kaga, ships that have been transformed into light aircraft carriers with reinforced decks and expanded hangars. Each can carry up to a dozen F-35Bs, creating a mobile strike platform that can operate far from traditional bases. Now imagine this nearly 60 stealth fighters in the air at once, some launching from Misawa, others from the open sea, coordinated, connected, and nearly invisible. This is not just a fleet, it's a networked war machine. These jets don't just fly, they think. They process enormous volumes of data from satellites, ships, and ground systems in real time, giving pilots an unparalleled battlefield advantage. China's defenses, no matter how advanced, are suddenly facing a threat they can barely detect, let alone counter. And right here, at this critical turning point in the story. If you believe this level of coordination and power changes everything, drop a comment right now and type "Proud of the USA" to show support for the alliance that's reshaping the balance of power before our eyes. At this stage, what makes this situation even more intense is not just the number of aircraft in the sky, but the speed at which decisions are being made. Modern warfare is no longer fought in minutes or hours, but in seconds. Every movement, every radar signal, every communication is being tracked, analyzed, and acted upon almost instantly. This gives Japan and its allies a critical edge, because while traditional military doctrine relied on reaction, this new system is built on anticipation. Threats are not just countered, they are predicted and neutralized before they even fully develop. This creates a level of pressure that is extremely difficult for any adversary to handle. Imagine being in a scenario where your every move is being watched, where your assets are exposed before you even deploy them, and where your response time is constantly shrinking. That is the kind of battlefield environment being created right now. It forces opponents like China to rethink not just their tactics, but their entire approach to regional dominance. And when a nation is pushed into that kind of corner, the risks of miscalculation grow significantly. One wrong move, one delayed response, or one misinterpreted signal could escalate a situation far beyond control. That is why what we are witnessing is not just a military buildup. It is a high-stakes psychological game, where dominance is established not only through firepower, but through information, speed, and the ability to stay one step ahead at all times. Of course, China is not standing still. Its response centers around one of its most advanced assets, the J-20 stealth fighter, known as the Mighty Dragon. On paper, it's a formidable opponent, twin engines, high speed, and stealth capabilities. But in practice, the comparison raises serious questions. The F-35A's radar cross-section is so minimal that it can appear almost invisible, while its advanced sensors can detect even the faintest signatures from enemy aircraft. In this matchup, the J-20 could struggle to even locate its opponent before missiles are already inbound. Speed alone cannot compensate for a lack of situational awareness. Even older Chinese jets like the J-16, deployed in large numbers, would find themselves overwhelmed, unable to effectively track or engage a system designed to dominate beyond visual range. The battlefield has changed. This is no longer about dogfights. It's about information, detection, and first strike capability. And in that domain, Japan's new arsenal, combined with American support, holds a significant edge. But the ripple effects of this transformation don't stop with China. Thousands of kilometers to the north, another major power is feeling the pressure: Russia. For years, Moscow has fortified its Pacific presence, particularly around the disputed Kuril Islands. The region has been heavily militarized, with missile systems and naval assets positioned to counter any potential threat. Vladivostok serves as the operational heart of Russia's Pacific Fleet. But now, with F-35s stationed at Misawa, just a short distance away, Russia faces a new and immediate challenge. These aircraft are not just pointed south, they can pivot north with equal efficiency. Russian Su-35 fighters, known for their agility and advanced maneuverability, suddenly face an opponent that may detect and engage them long before they can respond. Patrol flights that once demonstrated strength could now become liabilities. The strategic calculations that once favored Moscow are being rewritten in real time. Right at this moment, as alliances grow stronger and tensions rise in the Pacific, I want to hear from you. Do you think this show of power will prevent a major conflict or push things even further? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. And if you support the strength and unity behind this move, type "proud" in the comments. Let's see how many of you are standing behind it. And while the skies dominate headlines, Japan's transformation on land and sea is equally profound. In March 2026, Japan officially deployed its first domestically produced long-range strike systems. Type 12 missiles, upgraded to reach distances of up to 1,000 kilometers, were stationed in Kyushu. New high-speed gliding projectiles and hypersonic weapons followed, capable of evading defenses with unpredictable trajectories. Coastal regions have been fortified with anti-ship missile batteries, effectively turning entire island chains into defensive strongholds. At sea, advanced frigates and upgraded destroyers now carry Tomahawk cruise missiles, giving Japan the ability to strike targets over 1,600 kilometers away with precision. Beneath the surface, a silent fleet of lithium-ion powered submarines patrols undetected, creating an underwater barrier that is nearly impossible to penetrate. Together, these systems form a layered defense air, land, sea, and subsurface, working in perfect synchronization. When you step back and look at the full picture, the implications are impossible to ignore. Japan is no longer a passive player, it is a central force shaping the future of the Pacific. This is a nation that has redefined its role, built a multi-layered defense network, and aligned itself with one of the most powerful military alliances in history. The balance of power is shifting, not gradually, but rapidly and decisively. The question now is not whether this changes the strategic landscape, but how far the consequences will reach. Will this overwhelming display of coordination and firepower force rivals to reconsider their ambitions, or will it push the region closer to an inevitable confrontation? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because the next move in this high-stakes game could change everything.